Welcome to Morning Coffee and Mimosas. I'm Christina.
And I'm Joe.
We are a father-daughter duo. We come here Sunday mornings, but you can come here anytime you please. We banter about life, about business, and we do it over coffee and mimosas. Top of the morning to you, Dad.
Wow, that was very nice. You jumped out at that one.
Well, you always get the first word in.
I know.
And you usually try and get the last word in. So I got to, seize the opportunity.
No, I'm not going to talk. Okay, I'm done. You can handle this episode.
No, come on.
All right.
You know that you're the money on this episode. You're the money on this podcast. I just bring fluff. You bring the meat.
No. We are equal partners in all of it.
You're the meat. I'm the potatoes,
No, I'm the coffee and you're the mimosas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, forgot about that, didn't you?
We could start a second podcast, meat and potatoes. I don't know what we would talk about, but
yeah, we have to figure that one out. Yeah.
We'll chew on it.
Oh, that was a good analogy. Good pun, not analogy, a pun.
Yep.
Very good.
I'm working on my, you have done a very good job with dad jokes over the years. And I don't know if we've ever shared this with the listeners before, but you send daily dad jokes.
Yes.
I don't know what app you have that spits them out. I don't think you're making these up yourself, but
I'll never tell.
It's his daily routine as we get a dad joke a day, at least.
They're good though, right?
They do bring some levity
smile.
in the middle of the day, yeah.
That's right. Well, unlike last week, where I think we took 20 minutes to get into the topic.
We do that sometimes. That's when we talk about kind of organized, semi-organized stream of consciousness that this podcast is. Yeah, last week it took us a little while to get there.
I know, but I like that it's like we plan out, like we really don't script anything, but we do have an outline and we plan it out, but then we just start talking and having a good time and then it's like, oh yeah, we have to.
And sometimes we turn the recording off and then we're like still talking about it and we're like, oh, that would have been good.
We should have left it on. But I'm really super excited because I had a very awesome customer service experience just yesterday. And I wanted to talk about that. And that's what this topic is on customer service. So, but we'll make it exciting. So don't.
But
turn
I
off.
think that it's exciting because you had such a good customer service experience that it literally inspired the podcast episode for today.
Correct. I literally called you as soon as I was done with this and said, I'm blown away. This was amazing.
And this is literally how it happened because I got a text yesterday that was like, Christina, please call me. I have to tell you about my grill. And I'm like, that sounds very uninteresting. Let me rush to call you about this. So when I talked to you a day later, you told me this story. But anyway, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So, and I do want to say, this is not a sponsored, we do not have sponsors for
Dad,
this.
no, I was going to say.
Oh, sorry. Did I
we
mess you
interrupt
up?
this programming to give an ad from Weber.
Yes. Okay.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna say it is not sponsored. There's no sponsorship here.
That's true.
But I'm going to give a shout out to Weber Grills, seriously, because I have a grill that is 19 years old. When we bought this house, I bought a Weber grill for the deck, and it's a liquid propane grill. Used it for years and years and years, obviously, all these years. The grill was covered, but I haven't really, I'm going to almost say 2 years that it hasn't been touched. So literally yesterday, I went out and took the cover off, and other than little dirty and stuff like that, it looked okay. But when I opened up the grill, the inside of the lid had like an internal lining and it was rusted to the point where pieces were coming off, so I called Weber. I am telling you, they were amazing. I got this woman, Brittany, and she was fantastic. First of all, couldn't find the serial number. Evidently, I didn't register it when I got it.
Which shocks me. So
I know.
So 19 years ago, you weren't the Joe that you are today, where
no, I was,
every time you get something, you register it, you sign up for like the Fan of the Month Club.
I know. I don't know what happened. I don't know whatever. But she was such a sweetheart. So she's helping me find the serial number. I can't find a serial number. We have the model, but it's discontinued, and she wanted to help and send me spare parts, but doesn't want to send me the wrong spare part that wouldn't fit. So she's trying to help me out. And then I had to call back because I was trying to find a serial number, and then I called back and I got another person. The second person said, send me pictures. So sent pictures. That second person and Brittany worked together, and they literally sent the pictures around to everybody until they identified exactly the model number and the parts that would fit that. And then they said, well, the lining we can't replace by itself because it's welded on. So we're going to send you a new grill lid. It's a $279 part. She said it's obviously out of warranty, and I didn't register it. But she said, we're going to send that to you, no charge.
Wow.
It also needs...
On a 20-year-old grill.
Correct. It also needed an installation kit.
I see that you've now conditioned yourself to ask about installation kits from
the dishwasher.
For the listeners, in a previous episode, we talked about the time that he tried to install his own dishwasher.
That's right. I'm learning.
The snag was the installation kit.
But they did that, not me. So
you didn't have to
I didn't have
ask
to say
about it.
They also said, we're not going to charge you shipping for all of this. That grill, that lid.
All of this for a guy that hasn't bought a grill in 20 years and a guy that hasn't turned his grill on in 2 years.
Correct. $79.99 is what I paid for the new grill, the top that you cook on.
Wow.
For an almost 20-year-old grill. And not only that, they spent over an hour with me between trying to find where the serial number was, helping me determine what the exact model was. They were nice, they were pleasant, they were joking, it was the most amazing experience. And
I recall when my grill had been rusted, and I talked about my grill experience, you building my grill last week.
Right.
But I recall you just saying, just throw it away. You need a new grill. Mm-hmm. So when your grill is rusted, you are finagling getting new parts.
But that's the difference. It was like a cheapy grill from someplace.
We actually won it. You said it's a piece of crap. You need a Weber, is what you had told me.
That's what I did. And that was 2 years ago. That's correct, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told you, don't buy. And we went to the store, remember? And there were cheaper grills. And you said, well, this one looks nice. I said, don't buy it. You need a Weber grill. This thing has been out there for 20 years on my deck. And that rust was the only rust. So something, happened and they replaced it. So you don't get that for whatever. I remember when Mom and I got first married, we used to buy the cheapest, gas grills. And it was every 2 and 3 years we were buying another grill because they rust at the bottom, the firebox rusts out and everything. So it's not all about a Weber commercial. My point is...
I think he's trying to get more free stuff, guys. No, but seriously, this is not an episode about Weber. So that experience, though, why don't we boil it down to, Dad, what would you say the attributes were? And thinking about this big picture, because you have a lot of experience actually building customer service within your own organization. So what are the attributes as our listeners? And I think listeners, you guys are probably thinking about experiences you have had, right? Mm-hmm. So we all come away with customer service experiences where we either leave so fed up and pissed off, where we're talking to everybody about how poor the experience was and leaving a review that's scathing, or you leave feeling like, wow, they freaking get it.
Right.
So what would you say the attributes are that made that experience so good for you? And as people are listening, what are the attributes that you want to bring to the table, as you're thinking about customer service in your own life? What are you looking for, and what can you bring to make other people come away feeling good from encounters with you?
Right. Well, I think, first of all, both of these people were nice. They were pleasant. They were nice. They acknowledged. If you said something a little funny, or if you said something or whatever, they acknowledged you. The one thing I hate when you call and you say something and there's no response.
You do like when people laugh at your jokes.
Right. They have to laugh at my jokes. But
but you got acknowledged.
I got acknowledged. They were knowledgeable, but the other thing is you don't have to know everything. But they were knowledgeable enough to know what it was that I was talking about. But of course they didn't, because I didn't have the serial number that they could look up. They couldn't get the exact part, but they went and found the information. They took the initiative to find the information. They were truly wanting to help me get a good resolution. At one point, I even said, maybe this is just too much trouble. Do you think, in your opinion, I should just go out and purchase another Weber grill? And they said, well, you could, but I don't think you need to. We'll find the parts.
And to that, the Weber sales department is like, no, the answer is yes.
Yes.
No, but you're 100% right, because your initial thought would be that the answer would be yes, because it makes their life easier, right? That ends the call for them.
Right.
And it increases revenue for Weber. But it shows that they take pride in their product. They know they have a good product, and they actually care about the customer experience.
Right.
And doing what's right versus doing what's easy and doing what is in their best financial interest.
And it wasn't even this, but I knew about their service and all that. But what did I do when you went to buy a grill, which was 2 years earlier? I just told you, buy a Weber grill.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's really it. They were proactive, and they took the initiative to help. And per our episode last week about initiative and message to Garcia, they took the message to Garcia. Like they didn't throw it back on me or whatever. They said, no, we're going to get to the bottom of this. It was like a challenge. We're going to find your grill. We're going to find the parts, and we're going to be able to get you the parts.
That's awesome. And it's nice because, we all have plenty of experiences where that doesn't happen or it becomes a challenge. And I think even with the last year, I've seen brands that I always had such high respect for and enthusiasm for. I'll say the words rue la la because I think my husband gets post-traumatic stress disorder when those words and that, white and black box shows up at the front door. But that's a brand that I spend a lot of time with, and their customer service changed over the last year. And it's understandable because brands are going through a lot. But I question before I place an order now about whether or not I want to place the order, because it's not as easy to manage the return process if I need to.
See, that's where like an Amazon mastered that.
Exactly.
Right? So you're confident. You're not going to be nickel and dime if you have to return something.
Right. So the biggest thing that you can do for your business is really be thinking about this all the time, because that's the difference of you having a raving fan and brand advocate versus, we all see every single day where you've got celebrities and everybody's looking for brand ambassadors and stuff like that, where it's swipe up, right? And that they're getting paid to advertise a brand or to promote a brand. And it completely diminishes, to me. I don't, maybe I've found products that, I'm inspired to try just because they look interesting. But a housewife of New Jersey or whatever saying, this is a product that I love, swipe up for my discount, and that they're getting paid for that. There's a little bit less of oh, wow, I really need to try that. And I have confidence in the fact that that's a real referral or review. But for somebody to be just passionate about a brand and talking about it and being like the biggest advocate for that brand with no other motive other than I've had such a good experience and I want other people to have the experience that I have. So the people I care about, I want you to have an experience that's good too. That's huge. It
is huge. And when you get to what you do, what you sell, your services are complex, right? It's not an item you pick off a shelf and buy. You need great references. I know when I reach out in my business to get a new service for something, I want references. If you have poor customer service, you can't get references. It negatively impacts your sales, right?
Well, it's 100% right, because if you think about the whole sales process, you can't fill a bucket with a hole in it.
Great point. Good analogy. Yeah.
You can start to, you try to, right? But if you've got a leak and the leak is poor customer service, right? So you're like dumping water in the top of the bucket.
Yeah,
and if
that's
it's
a sales funnel, right?
Right. Yeah, you're dumping water in the top of it. But if the whole mechanism of somebody then having a good experience and becoming a fan and becoming somebody that will spread good information and give you good referrals and all of that isn't there, you're literally like, you can't possibly fill the bucket fast enough. So no matter how good you are at selling and talking about your product, you'll never grow fully unless you've got good customer service and you're delivering a good customer experience.
I'm laughing because I can imagine the funnel. It should be emptying because they become customers, but it's emptying because the leads go nowhere because
what should be
leaking out.
What always should be happening is you have new leads that come in, and the customers that you've sold then become like the best possible, area for you to then go sell something else, or for them to tell a friend that does something similar to what they do.
Deeper and wider into that company.
Exactly.
And they help you by becoming a good reference.
Yeah. Because unless you're somebody that has one service and there's only one thing that you can ever do with somebody, your current customers are your best prospects too.
Right.
So not to make it about sales and selling, but I think customer service is huge, because if you're in a business and you're wondering why you're not growing, part of it might be the top of funnel, part of it might be the sales experience, but I would challenge you to really think about what is the overall customer experience that your customers are having.
That's absolutely correct.
Because that will just completely stall your efforts.
It's true. And look at this, you can look at this Weber scenario and say, well, okay, it was awesome customer service, and instead of getting an $800 grill, they got an $80 sale, right? You could say, well, that's not so great. No, that's just short-sighted if you think that way, because, yeah, I got an $80 sale, but, next year we might I might say, you know what, I want a larger grill. I want one like yours that has a side burner on it or some more modern stuff. I'm never buying anybody else's grill but
not
Weber,
only
correct?
that, okay, so you buy an $800 grill, but you were so inspired that you wanted to do a podcast episode about this.
That's true.
And I mean, there's not a ton of people that are listening to this just yet, but there's enough, right? So you're so right about it. Short-sighted, right? The long game, if you think about it, and delivering that good experience makes all the difference.
Correct.
In the long game. Because I ended up getting a Weber because you've had good experiences in the past. And now here we are doing an episode about it. So, other people know that this is a brand. And certainly Weber is not the only brand with great customer service. I mean, you mentioned Amazon. I mean, so listeners, think about and give us a comment. Let us know, what are some of your best brand experiences? What are the brands that you love?
Yeah.
Because we want to know. And maybe, we could do other episodes on, other experiences that you've had that have been fantastic. And on the flip side, what are some experiences that we should be aware of? Because, we talked about attributes, pleasant and nice. I think it all comes down to, is somebody solving your problem, and do they make it easy? If somebody makes it easy, then you're more likely to want to, work with them. And we work with somebody, and he always says something that I love. He said, if it's not easy, it's hard. And if it's not hard, you don't like to do it.
It's true.
So how can we always...
If it is hard, you don't like to do it, right?
If it is hard, you don't like to do it, yeah.
Right.
That's it. That's the right way.
Yeah.
You got it.
And I know
if it's not easy, it's hard. And if it's hard, you don't like to do it.
Correct.
So how do you make your customer service experience easy?
Very good. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right.
All right. Well, Dad, this will last hopefully for years to come. I think it's time that you host us for some burgers or something.
As soon as that comes in, it's going to be in later this week. So
maybe you can do eggs on the grill next week. I don't know.
You want me to cook eggs on the
grill? You have like
I think it would be better if I make sausage on the grill.
Okay, you can make sausage. You can make whatever you want, but I think you're basically, you've got a vintage grill that you're refurbishing, or what would you call it?
I'm vintage too.
You're vintage, and you've got a vintage grill that you're, what do they call it? Restoring. You're restoring your vintage grill.
That's it.
So I think it's time that you start grilling here a little bit
Maybe
more.
I should look on eBay for what a 20-year-old Weber grill goes for. It might be surprising. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Wherever you are, whatever your story, thanks for spending time with us this morning. Now, go and make a difference in your world. Thanks for listening.